And welcome into our broadcast as it is a road game here at Class of 1923 Arena between your Temple Owls and the host team, the Drexel Dragons. We are just about moments away from puck drop, so we will be hearing the national anthem first and then starting lineups to get us geared up for the City 6 matchup. And once again, welcome into our broadcast, as it will be a City 6 matchup between your Temple Owls and the Drexel Dragons. My name is Michael Zahn. Joined alongside me is my partner, Aaron Sherman. And Aaron, this is our first road game. Only a couple games remaining on the season. How excited are you to broadcast this game on the road?
I am very excited. This is, like you said, first away game. And I've never been to this building. It's really nice. It's got the really nice old school vibe to it. You can tell it's very loud. The boards are probably a little bit dead because of how old they are, so they're not very lively. And one thing I like is the opposite sides of the benches. That's cool. Something.
It's a different take.
Different take. Something only really done in college. And the way this place is built, you can tell it could get pretty loud in here. I know it's a little bit of a packed house here, but
it should get pretty loud here, as there are definitely more fans here than normal. You can start to hear a couple fans cheering as we are gearing up for our face-off. This is going to be the third matchup between these two teams, and the last time the Owls played specifically at Class of 1923 Arena was 16 months ago to the day. It was September 30th, 2014. It was the inaugural City 6 championship where Drexel won 2-1, but that's behind them. 16 months later, it's January 30th, 2016, and we have puck drop here at Class of 1923 Arena. Owls control the draw. Powell dumps it down deep. Coming out of his net is Gravestein, but they're going to call icing as the Owls weren't able to gain the red line.
Right off the bat, first thing you got to know about this rink is it's not NHL size. It's a little bit wider. That means there's a lot more room out there than they're used to, and it might slow the game down just a little bit because of the amount of room out there.
And right now the Owls are protesting, saying that the netminder for Drexel, that's going to be number 30, Dylan Gravenstein, came out to challenge, didn't ultimately touch the puck, so they're going to drop it at center ice. I think that's a good call, as the referees did meet up to make sure that was the correct call. So they'll do it again from center ice. Just 14 ticks did come off the clock. Lombardi got a backhand one down deep. Chasing after it is Dan Nacero. Owls lost 3-2 yesterday. Nacero had both of the goals for the Owls. As it's tossed on along, shot misses the cage. In net tonight is number 32, Scott Salomon. Chasing after that one is Nacero. Christopher Carroll was back in the Drexel end, number 12 for the Dragons. 19:17 remaining in the first period. Puck is along the near board side until it's finally brought free. A beautiful stretch pass here once again, as it's Hagen trying to center a pass to Hart. Hart has a 5-game point streak with 7 points, so watch out for number 23, Dylan Hart. As it's now Thomas picking up the puck. Just over a minute played in the opening period. Puck comes to the left faceoff dot. Shot saved there by Salomon, and then the rebound put in. Who else? Dylan Hart extends his point streak to now 6 straight games. That's a season high. And he has 8 points in 6 games.
Bad turnover for the Owls. Gave up the puck. Came out into open ice for the Drexel player, and probably a little weak from Scott Salomon.
And Scott Salomon,
it looked like he got a piece of it.
Scott Salomon has the lone loss against Drexel this season. Keep in mind, these two teams are 1-1 against each other. The one win for the Owls came when Hayden Richards was in, and it was a shootout win at home. The other game was played at Hatfield Ice Arena, which is where Villanova typically plays, but that was the week that the Pope came, so they needed to be a little bit further than just inner city Philadelphia. But here, the Owls are trying to convert, tie it up, 18:30 remaining in the first period. Puck comes back to the point. There's Price. It's Devlin who can't keep the line, so retreating are the Owls. Civitella in his second week with the Temple team wanted to dump it deep. He's number 91 in his second stint with the Owls. Here's Ryan Williams, the left-handed shot on net. Blocker save there by Salomon. 18:05 remaining in this first period, and it has been all Drexel thus far. As the puck comes back to the point, shot on save there, as getting a flipper on it was Scott Salomon. That shot was taken by Matthew Meyer. He turns 21 tomorrow, but here's Ryan Williams, shot on again. Big rebound, but Salomon does make the save. As this one could go the length, but last second linesman's going to wave it off.
stretch pass.
You see it a ton so far against this Temple team, and right now Drexel has their legs out from under them.
Yeah, it looks like the subway ride over here and a little bit of delay to start this game has got the Owls a little slow starting.
It appears that way, but this could be a 2-on-1 break as it's Jimmy Malinese. Malinese shoots, and Gravenstein with the save as he comes to the top of the blue crease to cut off the angle. First shot on. Ooh. Big check there by Kumpf, but he's going to go off for two. He wanted to wake up his team a bit. And finally touched up by Van Allen. 17:04 remaining in the first period. And Aaron, I saw you shaking your head. What are your thoughts after that penalty?
I looked a little... I'm guessing the referee thought it was a little high. Hit him up around the head area. To me, it looked all right, but the referee is a little bit closer than I am to that one. So.
And I'll admit this, Aaron. I know you and I are biased, but we love these John Kumpf hits.
Yes,
he really loves to lay some people out. And I just saw a guy who wanted to wake up his team, realized on his first shift that he had the ability to wake up his team. Instead, it's going to be Drexel to the power play. They have 5 power play goals in 2 games against Temple. Temple has 0 power play goals in the 2 games, even though, again, they are 1-1. But we're going to have an offensive zone draw for Drexel, as it's going to be Ryan Williams to the point to Matt Williams. They are brothers. Hannerhan now trying to lay out a big check on Ryan Williams. The two of them are friends, but for the time being, they wear different sweaters, so they will not be friends tonight. Powell trying to intercept here. He's going to stay with it. Passes it to his stick. Fakes the shot, still stays with it in the high slot. Hannerhan with the poke check, and it's going to dump it down deep a little further.
Smart play to stay on sides by Pat.
16:32 remaining in this first period as a turnover there by Joey Powell. Didn't want to do that for sure as Hagan intercepted. Now it's Matt Williams. Along the goal crease now is Christopher Rodrigue. Works it back to the point now at the left point as it is Matt Williams. Here's John Quigley. John Quigley's shot misses. Ryan Williams to Matt Williams. It's now brought along the goal line where Hagan still couldn't keep with it. So now it's intercepted. Can be a 3-on-2 if they use numbers, but they're going to play it a little conservatively. Here's Lombardi gaining the line, takes the shot on, and I think they're going to call goalie interference against Temple. So 49 seconds remaining to the penalty to Kumpf. Even though they have a number 2 on the board, it's really number 9 in the box. And now I think another Temple penalty is going to be assessed, but we're going to wait. Maybe it's actually going to be against Drexel? No, just no call. Not entirely sure why the whistle was blown.
Yeah, a little confused there myself.
My apologies as there was no call, but 15:52 remaining. It's 5-on-4 power play for Drexel. We'll try and get word why that was whistled dead the play as Christopher Carroll works it on over to Hart, the lone goal scorer in this game. 15:37 remaining. Carroll works it back to Perro. Perro's shot, and gobbling that one up is the netminder for the Owls, and Scott Salomon with 28 seconds remaining to the Drexel power play.
I think we can see the game's not as fast as it is if Temple was home. There's definitely a lot of room out there to make passes and get open.
And when you and I were talking before the game, the dimensions here might be a little different than that at Northeast Flyer Skate Zone, at the Area Health Flyer Skate Zone.
This is wider, much wider. You can tell by the way the dots are, and they're not as close to the boards as they used to be.
So just 7 seconds remaining to the Kumpf minor. He's eager to get out of that penalty box. He's looking for the final ticks to come off it as there's 1 second left, so he's going to have to stay there. But it's an offensive zone draw for Temple, so they are going to kill off that first penalty against. And do keep in mind, Kumpf went to the box trying to wake up his team, and look at how they've responded.
Yeah, good penalty kill. They've kept the puck out of the zone for the most part, and they've played tight, even with all the open room.
So here's Krulikowski, normally a defenseman by trade, but he played forward minutes yesterday, playing them again today. As Krulikowski continues to battle, works it on over to Powell. Powell back to the point to Lombardi. Lombardi trying to set something up, looking for a deflection out in front, misses just wide. So Hannerhan has it at the right point. They look for a deflection, and it's Dan Nacero. And there's a couple shenanigans afterwards, but Dan Nacero ties it up at 1. Give him all 3 Temple goals this weekend thus far, and he is on fire.
Yeah, as we just said, he had 2 yesterday in the loss to Towson. And, this one, not necessarily a skilled goal. It just happened to be in the right place. Put a stick on it. Looked like it beat the Drexel goaltender 5-hole, and we've got a 1-1 game.
And just like that, keep in mind, Kumpf did go to the penalty box, but you see a different Temple team as they are sporting their road blacks.
Those are sweet jerseys.
You and I are both big fans of them. But a 1-1 game, just a little over 5 minutes into the contest, but Drexel's trying to convert. Out in front was Perro. He couldn't put that one home. Salomon's out of position, and fortunately for the Owls, Hart couldn't retrieve that pass tape to tape, so it's worked out of the zone where Kulikowski is. Kulikowski has Hannerhan with him. Kulikowski's shot, blocker save there by Gravenstein. Looking for a centering attempt was Hannerhan. It was a blind pass, no one home, but Kulikowski keeps the end.
I think this game's about to wake up a little bit.
It is the final City 6 matchup of the season for both teams. And you know they want bragging rights for the city as both teams are 1-1 against each other. Keeping the line once again is Lombardi. He's done that already 3 times as we've just reached the 6-minute mark of this first period. Owls starting to dictate play now. The first 2-3 minutes, all Drexel. Last 2-3 definitely has been all Temple. As it's worked out of the zone into neutral ice where Ryan Dumbach is. Dumbach looking to get Lombardi the puck, but he's just going to dump it down deep, goes off for a line change. Civitella intercepting at center ice. Touching up are the Owls to make sure they are in offside as Devin Thomas was a stride too slow there. And then it was Christopher Rodrigue who gained the line. The linesman right on top of it. So 13:31 remaining in the first period. All knotted up at 1.
Been a pretty good start to this game so far. It's picked
been
up.
Fun.
It's been fun. Some good open ice hits. We got a couple pair of goals.
As the puck is worked into the Temple end. Dumbach reversing around, no one home. The only one that was home was number 19, Matt Williams, the younger of the 2 Williams brothers. But fortunately, once again for the Owls, it doesn't come back to haunt them as Dumbach is going to try forehanding it to Civitella. Still doesn't work. Salomon gets a piece of that one to redirect it away from his goal mouth. But here's Ryan Williams with the puck until it's picked up by Civitella. Devin Thomas trying to turn on the Jets as he gains that center line, now gains the blue line. Backhand shot, Gravenstein makes the save.
There's those hands again. We always see them coming out from Thomas.
Devin Thomas has really started to fill that void that is lost from Stephen Kennedy. 12:43 remaining in the first period. Here's Malinese, who was struggling to get it out behind the goal line. So now it's picked up by Drexel until finally it's worked around where Dumbach can pick it up. Dumbach going to work it onto the nearboard side where Kumpf retrieves that pass. Recoiling a bit is Kumpf. He's hemmed in along the nearboard corner. 12:16 remaining in the period. As Drexel gains possession of the puck. 4 different white jerseys gain the line. Shot on, looking for a deflection. Doesn't get on net. 12 minutes even remaining in this period. As it comes to the side of Salomon once again. Centering attempt doesn't get on net. Hits a maze of players out in front. As Hannerhan springs Van Allen. Now looking for the trailing forward. Weren't able to find him. So it's Newton who just wanted to throw that one on net, but it missed wide once again. Shot along the goal line, hugging that post was Salomon as he started to pick up a couple nice big saves for his team to keep this one knotted up at 1. As once again it's Drexel gaining the line. Hannerhan intercepts. Looking to be sprung forward is Van Allen. He was able to accept it once again. Doesn't do much more. And the Owls are going to dump it down deep. Wholesale line change. Justin McKenney, the leading forechecker on that last play. As he's out there, number 14. He always has his legs out from under him. As taking a tumble is Ryan Dumbach. And now he turns it over to Hart. Betzker struggles to get it out of the zone. Just needed to put a little more mustard on that clearing attempt. So Betzker back to Lombardi. Lombardi trying to do it all himself, and very creatively does it.
Yeah, I think the open ice is going to pull. The open ice is going to play advantage to Temple's offense because generally they have a hard time breaking out, and with the little bit of added room in the width, they've got more space and they can use the boards a lot better.
And you see a 2-on-1 break here for Drexel. They can't convert as Hart was trying to put another goal in for the Drexel Dragons. He has been all over the place. It's typically dominated by the Williams brothers, but as of late, Dylan Hart has been the main scorer for this Dragons team, as with his goal today, he's extended his point streak to 6 straight games. Schwartz keeps it in. Gets tripped up a bit. It could be a 3-on-2 break as they move slowly. Shot on, glove save there by Salomon, and he freezes the puck. 10:02 remaining in the first period.
Good back and forth here in the last couple minutes. I want to point out the Kenny back check. Got a stick in the way. Drexel player was in the slot with a nice opportunity. Came back and got a stick in the lane, and
you see a design play here. Nacero tries to accept that pass as he loses it at escape blades. Hard to get him off that puck though as he comes up with it. It's Powell at the point, teeing up a howitzer. It was Krulikowski, the big body out in front, does get a piece of it, but it doesn't get behind the netminder as Ryan Williams trying to spring forward Matt Williams as it's now Perro in his own zone, giving over to his defensive partner along the nearboard side. Can't clear it as the small body, Dan Nacero, gets it on over. Krulikowski's shot misses. 9:23 remaining in this electric first period. Krulikowski wanted to take care of Perro there, then eased up once he got rid of the puck. Matt Williams with the puck, trying to dance his way around Listansky. He's not fooled. Now it's Ryan Williams. You'll hear a ton of the two of them. And finally covered up by Scott Salomon as the referee blows his whistle. 9:03 remaining in the first period. And I know a lot of people always want to talk about Big 5 basketball. As just a couple weeks ago, there was a doubleheader at the Palestra, but some City 6 hockey, that's pretty fun too.
Oh yeah.
As these two teams definitely don't like each other, but here once again are the Drexel Dragons trying to score. They're not able to. Quigley tries to toss one on net as it misses just wide. Kept in here at the point. Shot saved there, but there's a rebound, so it stays out in the Owls' end. Finally Krulikowski, who swerves his way into center ice, wanted to dump it down deep, wasn't able to, as he wanted to go the length of the ice. Powell wanted to get it back to center ice. Dragons had to touch up, so then they turn over the puck as it's Thomas once again recoiling. An ill-advised pass that's picked up by Quigley. 8:14 remaining as Price wanted to intercept. Linesman deems that one was deflected into the Owls' end, so no icing there. Devin Thomas's stick is lifted. It now hits the dasher boards, and they're going to deem a hand pass. So 7:57 remaining in this first period, and it just seems like another goal is coming before this period ends.
Oh yeah, I think we're going to see one.
Shot right off the face-off. Could have fooled Salomon, but it didn't get on net. Good clear here by the Owls. It could be a one-on-one break, really, if they move fast as Price eases up, gets the shot on. There's a rebound out in front. They try and poke away at it, and it's loose. And now there's going to be a lot of pushing and shoving afterwards until the referees get involved and break up any brouhahas. But 7:41 remaining in the first period.
A little bit of a quick whistle, but he's just protecting the goalie there, which is fine. I'm okay with that. Yeah, a little scrum in front. These two teams, being so close to each other. A lot of these kids, grew up with each other, playing against each other in high school and juniors, and they're probably familiar with each other. So there's some hatred there a little bit. Friendly competition hatred, of course.
And it's bragging rights too, especially when this is the third matchup and you've split the first two meetings. You want to get the bragging rights, but here's Hanrahan keeping it in. Works it behind the goal line where Devlin is. He's now being held in the right board corner. No call as Drexel emerges with the puck. Looking for a centering attempt. Big check there by Lombardi. Gets the puck free. It's a 2-on-2 charge the other way. Van Allen tees up a howitzer that hits the end boards. He got everything behind that one. Deflected out in front once again. I think that's been the Owls' MO thus far, is just getting shots on net and seeing if they can change the trajectory of it. 6:49 remaining as Kumpf gets a stick in the lane to break up that centering attempt. Comes out in front, Matt Williams' shot misses point blank.
He's gonna want that one back. Gotta hit the net from that spot.
So I think know that someone is going off. Kumpf once again going to the box, and he's bringing alongside him, I believe, if I caught that number correctly, Christopher Hagen.
See, now this is interesting, right? Two open glass penalty boxes right next to each other. There's nothing stopping them from going at it, but...
And Kumpf knows his role in this team. When he plays those third, fourth line minutes, he just wants to get under the skin of the opposition. Right now they have up on the board a Kumpf minor. They're also going to throw Hagen's minor up on the board. So it is going to be 4-on-4 hockey. Puck will be dropped in Drexel's end. So 4-on-4 open ice hockey, 6:33 remaining. As out there is McKinney, Dumbuck, Civitella, and Schwartz. That's quite the four-man unit. Deflection out in front, save there by Gravenstein. And you know what? Let's open up a little more ice.
Yeah.
4-on-3 power play, just 11 seconds in to the 4-on-4.
What's he calling him for, a rough? Or?
I think interference was the
I would
call.
have thought interference as well.
As it'd be Jake Devlin. So 4-on-3 hockey. Owls don't have a power play goal against Drexel all season long. And here's a prime opportunity.
This would be a great time for one, especially with the 4-on-3.
And it's going to be a long 4-on-3 as long as there are no more penalties. As Powell works it back to Hanrahan. This is now that top unit that I was surprised we didn't see on the 4-on-4. Granted, that wasn't special teams, but Hanrahan tees it up, does get the deflection. A little bit of pushing and shoving as Pero wanted to throw a cross-check to McKinney, and McKinney loves to mix it up himself.
No, he does.
But ultimately covered up by Gravenstein. 6:11 remaining in the period. A minute 38 remaining to the 4-on-3, and if nothing happens there, it'll be 12 seconds of 5-on-4 power play time. Another big face-off win in the offensive zone for the Owls. Lombardi and Hanrahan play hot potato, looking for that McKinney deflection out in front. Owls still corral the puck.
Seems to be the game plan. Shots from the point, people in front.
As now Lombardi is left wide open. Shot hits McKinney, so it isn't deflected. Smart pass here from Lombardi. Now it's worked back along the half wall to Lombardi. Not a lot of contention here from Drexel as they only have 3 skaters. Lombardi's shot picked up by Gravenstein once again. 5:41 remaining in the first period. But I'm really liking this setup from the Temple Owls on their 4-on-3 power play.
Yeah, definitely. You know, if you're Lombardi or Hanrahan on the point, you want to keep those shots low. You know, make it difficult for the goalie to see. McKinney in front, you know. Not that you can do it anymore, but that old Sean Avery style of getting in front of the goalie's face, making him...
As it's worked to Hanrahan in the high slot, misses just wide.
Oh, it's gonna
a
want
matter
that
of
one
inches. Powell at the left face-off dot, curling back.
Hanrahan moving in front of the net now.
And he's calling for it as Powell's shot misses. So the point men are Lombardi and Powell out in front. McKinney and Hanrahan once again, and it's Justin McKinney out in front. Justin McKinney, a power play goal for the Temple Owls, and they lead it 2-1.
He swatted that one out of the air, a little baseball style. He's going to be happy with that one. That was nice.
As you mentioned, right out of midair, the shot was on. Gravenstein makes the initial save, and McKinney wasn't content in waiting on that puck to drop. So we're going to get some 4-on-4 action. This is where it gets interesting, as they're going to get the referee's going to make sure that up on the scoreboard it's correct. But the Owls get the power play goal, and basically, if I understand this,
power play goal.
It is the first power play goal in 3 games against the Drexel Dragons. that's going to take it. That will do it for the power play. So 40 seconds remaining to the coincidental minor. So we are going to skate 4-on-4, and then that'll do it, as long as no other penalties are committed, and then we'll be back to even strength 5-on-5. But 5 minutes remaining in the first period, 2 unanswered from the Owls, and they get a big, important power play goal off the hands of Justin McKenney as Devlin gets the puck deep, was past the red line, so no icing here. As the puck comes back out towards center ice. It's now Price trying to backhand it to the far board side. Instead, it's intercepted here as we are back to 5-on-5 as Kumpf comes out of the box. As he's sprung ahead, he has an extra step. He's going to wait for a couple of his teammates to come back. Instead, gets his pocket picked. Some choppy play on both ends. Price wanted to look to Dumbach. Dumbach not pleased that puck wasn't thrown back to him. As it's Perro who gains the line but was a stride too slow. And now Thomas and Perro are exchanging a couple words. It's a chippy one. Owls on top 2-1. 4:07 remaining in the first period.
Owls are going to look to hold this lead going into the intermission, and that's what it's about. You win the period, you win each period, you win the game.
As the Owls win another draw, something that they have not been good at all season long. Only a couple games remaining, but this is a interdivision ECHA matchup as that shot misses high above the cage. As kept in at that right point was momentarily for the Drexel Dragons, but here's Lombardi showing off his wheels as he tries to stuff it in, and it's finally covered up with 3:38 remaining in the first period. And I know there's still 3:38 remaining, so there's no definitive score at the end of this period yet. But the first 3 minutes, all Drexel, I think you and I looked at each other and we said, oh, it's going to be one of these games. Well, instead, the Owls woke up, and I can't help but look at the John Kumpf penalty he took. Maybe it woke up the team as Malinese has the puck. Wanted to throw it on net. Hits the defender out in front. It's worked behind the net to Kumpf. Kumpf trying a centering attempt to Malinese. Couldn't get his stick on the ice, so it comes the length of the ice towards Salomon, who's going to control it. Here's Hanrahan. With the puck right now as it's worked into the Drexel end. And finally it skitters on out back into Temple's end. We apologize for the current technical difficulties. As the Drexel fan base wants a penalty there. But we should be up and running now. So finally a penalty is called with 2:31 remaining in the period. Owls on top 2-1. And the Owls are going back to the power play, as in the box right now is Adam Ferreira.
We're seeing Drexel play a very Temple-esque type of game today. They're taking a lot of penalties early. They're down on the shot, something we're not used to seeing. Temple leading in the shot department.
And this is a good Drexel team. You can see the banners here. They're 4-time ECHA champions. So they're used to winning this division as Lombardi's shot comes on toward Gravenstein. It's McKenney who right now has the go-ahead goal. Works it on over to Powell. Powell trying a centering attempt as it hits Quigley. Quigley appears to be laboring a bit. Finally comes back into position as McKenney can't get that puck free back to the point. Just trying to be a little too fancy there.
Yeah, as we've seen in the past, a very lethargic Temple power play. Nobody really moves for anybody. Nobody tries to create any openings, or there's just a lot of people standing around hoping that someone else does the work for them.
Well, here's Lombardi at the left faceoff dot. Cross ice feed to Dumbach. That was pretty, but it does miss.
That's a better look.
Powell behind the net. Takes a slash, no call there. back to his forehand, works it back to the point. Hannerhan, save there by Gravenstein. He might want to cover that one up, as that was a little bit of a lackadaisical save. So the Owls keep possession of the puck, as Powell gets hemmed in, loses possession of the puck momentarily, works it back to the point where Lombardi's going to be pinching in. Now here's Dumbach with the puck, 45 seconds remaining to the man advantage. Cross ice, Lombardi can't control that one. And it appears that Drexel had a prime opportunity to get the puck out of the zone, and instead
we'll have another face-off inside.
It'll be a face-off inside. That would have been a delay of game at the NHL and AHL level, but instead Matthew Meyer, who once again does turn 21 tomorrow, just clears it out of play. So that unit, that four-man unit for Drexel, needs to stay out there, as the Owls are able to change up their five-man unit, as it's Nacero, Thomas, Krulikowski, and at the point Malinese, as well as Kunk, but intercepted here with a minute remaining, short-handed. Shot misses the net. Salomon tried to take away the angle, encouraged the shooter to shoot before he really wanted to. So 15 seconds remaining to the power play, 44 seconds remaining in the period. Thomas gains the blue line, cross ice, where Krulikowski is, as he works it back. Malinese fakes a shot, opens up a lane. Krulikowski looking for the deflection out in front. Back to even strength here. Owls can't convert on the
out of the box.
And Malinese can't control that one, but gets just enough of it to make sure it wasn't a clean pass tape to tape. 18 seconds remaining, as Hart centers it out in front, can't get the shot off. 11 seconds remain. Pass comes out in front. Hart, shot saved there by Salomon, and Carroll tries to poke away at it too. 8.6 seconds remaining, and the intensity is picking up here at Class of 1923 Arena, with the Owls currently on top 2-1. Still a lot of yelling from the referee and linesmen. As the puck will be dropped deep in the Owls' end. It would be a big offensive zone draw win if Drexel can win it back. And a good play here by Devlin to tie up his man. Still can't get it out. Shot out in front, rebound. Salomon makes a save, and that's going to do it for the period. As I think Salomon might have been a little worried once that rebound came out in front, but he does make the save. As surprisingly, the Owls outshoot Drexel 16-10, and more importantly, outscore their opponents right now 2-1.
Yeah, that's what matters most.
And just quickly, before we go into our intermission break, just bringing it back to the last time these two teams played. It was at Area Health Flyer Skate Zone. Well, the Owls did win that game in the shootout. They were outshot 52-27, and they ended up winning that game. The first matchup that the Owls lost 8-3, they were outshot 44-27. So here they are, they've outshot their opponent 16-10. It appears they made a couple in-game adjustments, but that is going to do it for our first period. And when we come back, Aaron and I will break down that period a little more in our intermission. and welcome back into our broadcast as it is the first intermission report. My name once again is Michael Zahn, joined alongside me is Aaron Sherman, and if you want to follow us on social media, our Twitter handles are below. But what an exciting first period. The first 3 minutes was all Drexel as they dominated play. Dylan Hart extended his point streak to 6 games. He now has 8 points in 6 games, but the Owls were not out of it. A penalty by John Kumpf, who I really think changed the entire complexity of that first period. Woke up the team shortly after Dan Nacero got his 3rd goal in the weekend, and then Justin McKenney on the power play, the first power play goal in 3 attempts against the Drexel Dragons. What other takeaways do you have from that first period, Aaron?
Well, the first Drexel goal happened in the first minute and a half of the game, something like that.
I think it was 70 seconds, 18:50 remaining.
It was a little weak, and I think Salmon, stepped up and played a much better period after that. It looked like he had most of the puck, and it just trickled through. But it's good. The penalty you said from Kumpf, big hit. Good to fire the boys up, and for them to score on the power play, huge. They haven't been able to do it much this year. Like I talked about, it's been a very lethargic, and they don't move very much, and they have trouble finding each other, and it's more just shots from the point and hope for the best. But which is what happened essentially. Nacero with a tip, and then so they're playing better. They played a good period. It wasn't a great period, but neither team played a great period. It was a good, solid hockey period.
And they outshot the Drexel Dragons 16-10. That probably is the biggest takeaway from that period, because almost every game they get outshot mercilessly, and they just have to hope that either Hayden Richards, Zach Burkhardt, or tonight Scott Salomon bails them out. And thus far, Scott Salomon has made 9 of 10 saves, so he's looked good, but he hasn't had to be great, and that's important when you're a goaltender. Right. Do you want to make the saves, but sometimes when you're just peppered with shot after shot after shot, it becomes very difficult. Another quick thing before our second period starts, as we do have a couple more minutes, is that this won't be the period of the long change that we typically talk about, as both teams have their benches on opposite sides. So the Owls won that period 2-1, and it'll be a similar style. They have to defend the opposite side now,
right? But
that's the only difference, is they have to defend.
It's a little closer to their bench.
It might be a half a stride closer, right? And you know what? Sometimes that makes a lot of difference. So it actually might be closer to a normal first period and a third period for a team rather than a second period. But we will wait and see what happens. Any last second takeaways before we start this second period?
I'd like to see, keep putting shots on net, You're leading the shots department, keep piling them on. The more shots you take, the better your chances are.
So again, these two teams will be switching sides in this period, as well as the Owls will have a 2-1 lead to start the second period, as they have 2 unanswered, as we mentioned, Dan Nacero and Justin McKenney, as we are getting geared up for the start of the second period here at Class of 1923 Arena. It's a chilly one in here, January 30th, 2016, the last City 6 matchup between these two division foes. Face-off won here by the Drexel Dragons. Pero, the captain, working it behind the cage, comes out in front. Powell with the puck. Now worked along the nearboard side, comes back, shot misses the cage, 19:43 remaining in this second frame. Powell backhands one over to Lombardi. Lombardi back to Powell, who has a little bit of time and space. He used that time and space, didn't go anywhere. So Powell backhands one out, absorbs the check to make a play. Nacero is chasing after Devlin. And that puck took an extra second to finally be freed, as Devlin did a good job with his footwork to make sure that the Drexel Dragons kept possession of that puck. So it's the Drexel Dragons getting out of the zone until being stood up there is Patrick Hanrahan, doing a great job clogging up lanes time and time again, even takes a slash. I think he might have had a couple extra words for number 7 and Nick Kanosian. And this one's going to go the length of the ice, 200 feet behind the goal line. It's going to be brought back into Drexel's end. As Devlin's set to take the draw for the Temple Owls. wasn't able to win it. It comes back to the point. Shot misses the net. Here's Devlin working on over to Thomas. Thomas trying for a centering attempt. No one home. 18:37 remaining in the second period. Batting it out of midair is Ryan Dumbach. As Christopher Carroll wanted to pick up that puck, he was unable to, so it's Thomas in front of that red line. Couldn't get everything behind that puck, so it didn't go the length of the ice. He wanted to get all of that and have his players chase after it. So a cross-ice feed here to Carroll, who can't keep possession of the puck. 18:10 remaining in the second period. Been a much quieter start to the second period than the first period had. As it's rims around the boards, here's Hart working on over to Carroll. Carroll back to Hart. Hart uses the boards to pass it, but now here's a 2-on-1 break as Thomas turns on the afterburn as he has Van Allen with him. Shot by Thomas goes just a bit high as he used Van Allen with him. Now here's Thomas again. Wanted to make a deke and then try and stuff it in out in front. Good poke check out in front by Hagen. Meyer to Quigley. Back to Quigley towards center ice. Carroll's attempt to get that puck deep hit the linesman. That's a fortuitous bounce for the Owls. 17:23 remaining in the first period. And now here's Ryan Williams working on over to Matt Williams. Matt Williams, the right-handed shot, save, head save there.
They take them any way they come.
Salomon. Another 2-on-1 break. This time it's Van Allen and Lombardi. Here's Van Allen, the right-handed shot, shoots it on, and Brandenstein makes the save.
Good idea to shoot the puck. I'm calling up here hoping like shoot. That's been the problem all year. The Owls just don't take enough shots. They're always trying to get pretty, but good for him to get that one on net.
So another offensive zone draw. It's now that third line of Kumpf, Malinese, and Van Allen. There's Malinese behind the cage. Stays with it. Looks for Van Allen out in front. And I think there's going to be a hooking penalty. No, it's a cross-checking penalty. But nonetheless, Owls back to the power play. Very rare sighting to see the Owls going back to back to back on the power play. But they have a huge opportunity to take a 2-goal lead.
Absolutely. You'd love to keep the success going on the power play and find the back of the net once again.
So it's going to be Steven Moran's in the net, in the box, excuse me.
Now let's see if they try something different here besides, shots from the point. See if they work the puck a little bit.
And the forwards right now, Lombardi, number 81 on the left side, Powell centering, right side McKenney, who does have the power play going at the point. Hannerhan and Dumbach. Hannerhan's shot doesn't get through. It's worked on over to Lombardi, who's at the left face-off dot. Tries to get a shot through, it hits Pero out in front, and then he clears the puck the length of the ice. Salomon wanted to come out and play. It was a little too far from his goal crease, so he opted to stay in, and Hannerhan made sure that he was the first one to touch up, as he's the one with the puck right now. The big right-handed shooting defenseman wanted to get that shot on net. As right now he leads the Temple Owls in points ever since Stephen Kennedy has graduated, and he's a defenseman. Lombardi keeps the end, but that was momentarily until finally it was cleared, but picked up once again by Dumbach, who's going to turn on the Jets. He runs into the linesman, loses the puck until it's worked back on over to him. 1:04 remaining to the man advantage. Dumbach absorbs the hit to make a play. Powell tees one up, looks for a man to deflect that one. Instead, it's actually going to be Drexel emerging with it, a 2-on-1 shorthanded break. Devlin passes it on over, shot misses. A prime opportunity for the Dragons that they can't convert on, and it could be a 3-on-2 the other way now. Lombardi at the left face-off dot, looking for a cross-ice feed, broken up there.
It's going to call offsides.
So it was a delayed offside, so ultimately the Dragons clear the end. 30 seconds remaining to the Owls power play. Not as good as some of their previous man advantages. It's now Kumpf out there with Malinese. Now worked on over to Nacero. Last second icing is waved off. And once again, a big clear here by the Drexel Dragons, as that will do it for the man advantage. As a big clear here by Drexel takes off the duration of the power play.
That looked more like the shot across. But that looked more like the power play of old.
And Aaron Ledistansky, of all people, bore down and in. Aaron Ledistansky picks it up, and he scores. That's 3 unanswered for the Temple Owls, and they lead it 3-1.
That one was pretty. You heard it. I don't know if you can hear the ping. They're grabbing the puck. I believe that's his first goal, first career goal, and he's going to love that.
Now this is Aaron Ledistansky in his second stint. Rarely is he in a position where he can score a goal, but he got everything behind that one. The emphatic celebration, and Aaron Ledistansky with the goal. A couple senior members and teammates came off the bench onto the ice to celebrate with him. An exciting moment for number 65, Aaron Ledistansky. Owls on top right now, 3-1.
How's that for a confidence booster?
And now here's Quigley looking for a shot out in front. Deflected once again. They poke away at it. And Salomon is just happy. He has it under his paraphernalia.
Better late than never. Getting your first goal this season.
So 14:28 remaining in the second period. Face off deep in the Owls' end. As now Price working on over to Thomas. It's Quigley back in Drexel's end. 14:18 remaining in the second period. 3 unanswered goals by the Temple Owls. As this puck was intercepted by Lombardi, but he couldn't touch up further as there was a delayed offside warning against the Owls. Salomon plays that one, draped all over him. His hand shot out in front, doesn't get on net. As that was Hagan trying to stuff it in. So here's Lombardi taking a slash, still keeps on skating with it. Wanted to make one more move. It's Morantz who picks up the puck. Hanrahan back in his own end. Betzger loses sight of it. Has to curl back a bit. Bunched up are the Owls right now. As it's Drexel who comes away with it. Shot on by Devlin, misses the cage. 13:28 remaining. As right now the clock was having a minor malfunction, but it's up and running once again. Quigley shot misses the net. 13:20 remaining in the middle frame. McKenney wipes out his man hard. And he's going to stay with it, trying to get a stick lift in there. He loves to mix it up. Ryan Williams, hard one-timer out in front. Saved there by Salomon as he was alert. Getting a piece of this was Betzger.
So no icing.
As he skates in gingerly after this one. 12:54 remaining in the second period. Giving chase here is Swartz. He's trying to pick Perro's pocket. And he loses his footing in the meantime. As Drexel finally gets out of the zone. They've really struggled to get out of their zone. They do it there as they have 3 white jerseys in the Owls' end. As it's worked back along the goal line, shot doesn't get on net. So Civitella wants to get it out of the zone. He does just that, and I believe it was last played by a Drexel player who had his stick above his shoulders, so that's high sticking and will bring it, I believe, back into Drexel's end, but I believe now they're going to retreat back. No, it is going to be drop deep. In Drexel's end. That is the correct call. 12:15 remaining in the second period. Owls with 3 unanswered goals. Face-off win here by Powell. Works it back to the point to Civitella. Civitella's shot doesn't get on net, but they work it as they continue to cycle the puck. Awkward angle shot by Powell doesn't get on net. Civitella does a good job of keeping it in Drexel's end with the right point keep. Dunbuck couldn't do the same at the left point, so it's worked back into the neutral ice where the Owls are just going to take care of business, eat up more clock, chase in after it. Shot along the goal line. Macero's shot, you might have heard the ping, hit the outside of the cage. Civitello Can't get that shot on hard enough. Good stop there by Dumbach, who was alert in neutral ice. Gravenstein came out to play the puck, controls it, slows it down. Nacero landing out a big check there. Powell loses possession of the puck as it's picked up here once again by Drexel. Long toss ahead, and it's going to go the length of the ice for icing. 11:10 remaining in this second period. Right now, you mentioned the Owls need to win every period. They won the first period 2-1. Right now, winning this period 1-0. They lead by 2 goals, and we're almost at the halfway point of regulation.
The biggest thing that stands out to me, 3 shots for Drexel in almost 10 minutes of play here. The Owls are doing a good job, and also Drexel's not really hitting the net. They've had a bunch of several opportunities.
As that one hits heavy metal.
And that won't even count as a shot.
Well, they throw it on the board as a shot. They actually throw 2 on the board. But you and I know, and for those of you that are keeping score at home, that shouldn't have been a shot on net. As Drexel now trying to pick up the pace. Maybe they heard you, Aaron. And they're just going to continue to toss shots on net. That one goes high into the protective awning.
You see what I mean, though? There's 4 or 5 opportunities that they had the puck in the slot and completely missed the net. When, you know, you got to hit the net to score. So, sounds pretty obvious, but I guess easier said than done.
10:44 remaining in the middle frame. Big face-off win here by the Owls in their defensive zone.
Ooh.
They were looking for a long toss ahead for Van Allen, who's received a couple of those this game.
The home run cherry picker pass. They're looking for it again. And they found
you know what? It's been working. Hey, here is Van Allen. The linesman on top of it didn't see that Van Allen hadn't gained the red line. It should have gone for icing. I agree, the Drexel bench should be upset as they are deflected out in front.
That would not have been a goal. I believe he got his hand on that one.
Here's Hart one more time, curling back, loses his footing. Civitello's just going to clear it out of harm's way. As we've reached the midway point of regulation, Owls on top 3-1. As both number 91s can't connect, Civitello is looking to Malinese. It's now Malinese picking it up toward the Drexel bench.
Offsides.
9:53 remaining in the second period. And right now this is a lifeless Drexel team. They came out fighting in the first 3 minutes. I don't know where that fight went.
No idea. Temple sucked it out of them.
And the puck will be dropped at center ice, so there must have been a wrong call at some point. And once again, what do we have? A face-off win by the Temple Owls, who are hemmed deep in their own zone as that puck hits off of Pero and goes out of play. So 9:45 remaining in the second period. Owls on top 3-1. And we appreciate you tuning into our broadcast. We know if you need to get your hockey fix, you're not going to get it from the NHL as they're having an all-star break right now, so why not tune in to some City 6 matchup as the Owls have possession of the puck. Ledistansky with it has the last goal for the Temple Owls. Pero trying to work it ahead, but once again a clearing attempt here to no avail for the Drexel Dragons as they clear it out of play. That unit needs to stay out there for Drexel as a couple of them are doubled over. They're a little bit tired right now. And instead it's the Owls who get to change up their unit as it will be McKenney centering Swartz and Betzger. And once again, puck goes out of play. 9:33 remaining in the second period. Not a lot of time has elapsed from the last couple of draws as McKenney touches up with that one. No icing here. Puts everything into that one to make sure he kept it in the zone. 9:18 remaining in the second period. Stretch pass doesn't work. Intercepted. Good neutralized play by Temple. Big hit there by Hanrahan, who nods his head to the Drexel bench to let them know that they weren't going to be able to take him down there. Puck picked up by Betzger, who just covered up from a check. He was trying to hide. No hiding in hockey. As the puck came right along the goal mouth, alert there is Salomon. 8:47 remaining in the second period. Shots in favor of the Owls, 21-15. Still Drexel struggling to get anything done offensively.
No ice.
As Quigley did touch up with it, and it didn't go behind the goal line. So as you had mentioned, Aaron, no icing. And curling back once again is Quigley, staying on him as Nacero, as he was all over him, trying to get that puck free and back into possession of Temples. And now Dumbach overcommitted. Here's Quigley. Quigley looking for Ryan Williams, couldn't find him. As Christopher Rodrigue works it back to Williams. Puck comes out in front, and I believe they're going to call hand pass against Temple. So that 5-man unit for Temple needs to stay out there. Drexel can change up their lines. Doesn't appear that they will. 8:01 remaining in the second period. And suddenly Drexel is gaining a little bit of steam as they know that next goal is very important.
Yes, one of the worst leads in hockey is a 2-goal lead. If you're Temple, you don't want to let up on that driver's pedal. You got to keep pushing here.
As the puck comes back out into neutral ice, here's Quigley, who's been all over the ice surface today. Shoots it on, Salomon covers up, and he freezes the puck. 7:39 remaining in the second period. And still the Owls are out shooting Drexel, but in this period, it's a 7-5 in favor of Drexel. So not a lot of shots on both ends, as we've almost played 12 and a half minutes in this period. Puck comes out of the zone after another good defensive zone draw win by the Owls, but it's now Drexel with the puck. Curling back is Meyer. Meyer gaining some steam as he gains center ice, then wants to dump it down deep. Chasing after it are the Dragons. Dumbach wanted to get that puck free. Instead it was Devlin who gets the puck free for Dumbach. Hey-oh. Cross ice to Price. Price just bats that one down, and then it was touched by the Dragons next, so then Price can play with it. Thomas backhands one on toward the net, and you might have heard some oohing and ahhing from the crowd. Civitella's shot doesn't get through. Thomas wanted to tee that one up, wasn't able to. As once again, Drexel's going to try and get this back to a 1-goal game. Shot along the goal line. And now it's kept in here. Good keep by the Dragons. Can't get the shot on net. 6:40 remaining in the middle frame. Almost too many men against Drexel as the puck came next to the bench as they were changing up their lines. But they did a good job of making sure that no extra men were on the ice as they do keep it in until it's finally turned over. Van Allen at the far board side put just a little too much on that for Malinese to catch up to it. 6:12 remaining in the second period. Working it back in their zone are the Dragons as they get it into neutral ice and not too much further, as that was Hagen who couldn't control that pass. But once again intercepted, and if they move they have numbers. Shot on, save there by Salomon, came out to challenge. Defense didn't help him there. Malinese making sure Van Allen gets that puck. Wanted to give it back to Malinese, and now it comes back out toward Van Allen. Works along the nearboard side where Kumpf is. Comes back to the point, there's Lombardi. Lombardi does a good job of getting it right back to Kumpf. Centering attempt out in front. Van Allen can't control that one. It comes along the goal line, still loose, and finally it's blown dead. A lot of pushing and shoving after the whistle. And that's what happens sometimes. When that puck is free, you play until you hear a whistle.
Yep, that's why the referees tend to blow whistles a little too quick. But it's for the safety of the players and the goalies, so it's completely reasonable.
Of course, and I think they did the right thing that time. The puck was still loose. They waited an extra second. But then once they lost sight of it,
yes,
Well, once
Well
again,
done.
it's going to be John Kumpf in the penalty box at the end of that, and I also see Dylan Hart will be sitting too. So very interesting. Kumpf with already 3 minor penalties, racking up the penalty minutes. He has 6 penalty minutes. He might have to call the penalty box his new home, but I'm going to give him all the credit in the world. I really do think that first period that he laid out that big check really helped the Owls. So 4-on-4 play here. Hanrahan shot doesn't get on net. Owls keep possession of it. Open ice here. They've done well with that open ice. Powell looking cross ice, back door to Hanrahan. Hanrahan shot gets on net. Big save there by Gravenstein. Now it's Powell, the forward, who hits Zach Burkhart. Some friendly fire there as it goes into the Temple bench. 1:38 remaining to the 4-on-4.
Owls looking for that backdoor pass. Almost had, was that Hanrahan? Hanrahan sneaking in the back and just missed.
Nacero wins the draw cleanly. So it comes back into the Owls' end.
Temple's playing this almost like a power play. They are even strength, but they're controlling the puck.
Right now they're a confident bunch, and they have no reason to feel otherwise. And Nacero frees this puck for Kulikowski, who just wants to poke it home. Couldn't get possession of it as he lost it at escape blades. That could have been a very pretty play. Instead, here's Pero the other way, looking for Rodrigo out in front, shoots it instead. As it's next to Salomon. Comes back to the point. Here's Ryan Williams. Ryan Williams at the left faceoff dot, shoots it, saved there by Salomon. Once again, a minute remaining to the 4-on-4 as you're hearing it from the public address announcer right now. Nacero didn't get enough of that. So it's picked up here by Drexel. As it's Ryan Williams with the puck. Curling and dragging. Shot by Quigley, misses the net. Here's Hanrahan with the puck. He's been out there the duration of the 4-on-4 that has 40 seconds remaining. Still not going off for a line change after he turns over the puck. Here's Ryan Williams to Matt Williams. Slam dunk goal. And we have a 1-goal game. That next goal was so important. Hanrahan turns it over in that blue paint. Ryan Williams picks it up, works it on over to Matt Williams. And we have a 3-2 hockey game.
They're not going to like that. Pat especially turned the puck over at the blue line and, created that 2-on-1 opportunity for him. And nothing Scott can do, and nice shot, nice play.
And suddenly the shots are getting a lot closer as right now the Owls lead in the shot department 24-21. But keep in mind they had a 6-shot lead in the shot department. Now only a 1-goal lead in the goal department, which is the most important part. Here's Quigley.
We said worst lead in hockey is 2-goal lead, and that next goal is big, and the next one's even bigger.
And here's Dumbach trying to work it back out into neutral ice. There's McKenney getting the puck deep.
The Owls had been playing well, too.
And sometimes one big turnover can be the difference.
That's right. And you had mentioned Hanrahan had been out there. Maybe he was tired and, it took too long of a shift.
And now here are the Drexel Dragons. Untouched into the zone is Meyer. Meyer looking for a centering attempt. They almost beat Salomon there. As we're back to 5-on-5 hockey. With about 3 minutes remaining, puck comes out in front. Salomon without his stick. And now it's brought back out until finally touched up here by Drexel. And then Scott Salomon is going to smartly just cover it up with 2:45 remaining. But a lot of momentum that Temple had was just sucked out of them with that last goal by Matt Williams.
Sounds like Drexel took some of my advice and started putting more shots on net and almost evened it up and tilted the ice almost. It's been all Drexel last 3 minutes.
And right now in this period, Drexel leads in the shot department 12-8. And that's a pretty sizable differential. And even though the goals are 1-1 in this period, it's a 3-2 hockey game right now in favor of the Temple Owls. As the puck comes out of the zone, moved on over smartly to Devlin, and just that last poke check, the puck is offside. Temple bench not pleased, a little bit of pushing and shoving in the corner. As I think it's Devlin having a couple extra words here. 2:14 remaining.
It's close.
In the second period.
That was very close offsides call, but give him the benefit of the doubt.
And that's why you have to give 110% every shift, because that one little poke just changed the puck enough that a Temple player was ruled offside. Owls still on top 3-2. And it's good to see that there's a lot of coaching on the bench. Not only is Coach Roman Bassetti on the Temple bench, but he has 3 assistant coaches, as Malinese has the puck right now. Malinese shoots, rebound out in front. As I was saying, Kenny Orlando and Alex Kempinski are also on the bench, just helping out the players as the puck goes into the Temple penalty box. So that's why play has been halted. 2:04 remaining in the second period. Face-off win here by Drexel. Instead, Malinese comes away with it as he's battling with Hart. 2 guys converge on him. It's ultimately picked up by Devlin, and that's Drexel's Devlin. Worked back in cleanly into the line. That was Hart with the shot. Almost fooled the goaltender in Salomon. Owls have to make sure they bear down and don't give up another one, as here's another try out in front. Some nifty passing here by Drexel as they picked up the intensity. Worked along the half wall. Van Allen tries to get it out of the zone. He does just that. And now here's Lombardi. Lombardi tees one up. Shot, save there. Rebound out in front. They poke away at it just once. So not a lot of pushing and shoving, because one little poke isn't going to make the opposition too angry. 1:21 remaining in the second period. Owls on top 3-2.
Owls putting on a little more pressure here in the dying seconds.
Shot from point-blank range by Swartz, doesn't get on net. And now here's Quigley leading a 2-on-1 charge. Quigley can't get past Krulikowski. Good footwork there by Matt Krulikowski, the LaSalle Prep grad. Another LaSalle Prep grad, Justin McKenney, chasing in after this one, number 14, until it's given on over to Matt Williams. Back to Ryan Williams. The ever-dangerous Ryan Williams shot hits Krulikowski out in front and hits the protective awning. 54.4 seconds remaining in the second period. Owls still lead it by a goal. Face-off deep in the Owls' end.
Not a bad period for either team. You know, swapped a goal apiece. Owls still on top. They'll want to get out of this period as soon as possible. And
well, they might have one more in them, as it's Devin Thomas with a high-rising shot. But it took a friendly bounce for Drexel, as here's Rodrigue with the puck, slowing down, looking for Quigley, until that puck was intercepted by Thomas, who came back defensively. Good keep here by Drexel. Ryan Williams works it on over to Matt Williams. Matt Williams just misses far side. Wanted to roof that one, glove side. Here's Ryan Williams, and coming out of his crease is Scott Salomon with the big save, flashes leather, and saves the Owls' bacon right there. 20.8 seconds remaining. Owls still on top by a goal.
That's a beauty. I like that one. Nice to get his glove in the way and pick that one out of the air.
A very good save there by Salomon, and especially when you think about the scenario right now with it being a one-goal game, even bigger.
Good post.
Now a jam-in play by Drexel doesn't work. So it's worked back into the Owls' end. They have to touch up, and the Owls are going to smartly kill up clock. Here's Joey Powell. Takes a poke for good measure, but that'll do it, as Hanrahan is still going to have a couple extra words for Pero. And Hanrahan didn't understand why there was a check laid out with triple zeros on the clock. At the end of the first period, it was 2-1. At the end of the second period, Owls on top 3-2. Still 20 more minutes of regulation remaining. And Aaron and I will break down that period for our intermission show when we get back. And welcome back into our broadcast for second intermission analyst between the Temple Owls and the Drexel Dragons. The first period ended, Owls on top 2-1. Second period ends, Owls on top 3-2. It's still a one-goal game. If the Owls want to make sure they pick up the 2 points here and win this game, what do the Owls need to do in the third period, Aaron?
Play shut down D and keep putting pucks on net. Keep doing what they're doing. Don't slow down. Don't. Just keep pushing and play a little dump and chase. You dump the puck in, go after it and chase it. Kill some time. Got a lead. Shots are now about even. Keep doing what they're doing. I'd say they've had a solid game, and they should just keep doing what they're doing.
This is probably some of the most confidence we've seen them play with all season long. A lot of stretch passes, a lot of making sure that they're shutting down plays defensively in the neutral zone. I think that's probably been the best part of their game. That's been better than other areas in previous games and also previous seasons. As right now the team is huddled up by the coach. They're probably getting their last couple instructions. I think it's important to note that this is a Temple team that if they win this game, they'll beat Drexel 2 out of 3 times, and especially knowing that they lost that first game 8-3. And to know that they could then face that same team 2 more times in the same season and beat them both, and beat Drexel both times, that would be an impressive feat.
Absolutely. Not to mention, as we talked about earlier, bragging rights.
That's for sure. So here's the final 20 minutes of regulation. Who knows if we'll need more than that. Owls will be content if this is the final score, as it has been a pretty low-scoring affair thus far for an ACHA game. Shot saved there by Salomon. Nasera's going to skate this one into the blue paint. Drops it off for McKenny. Can't stay with that one. Here is Matt Williams dumping off for Ryan Williams. Ryan Williams shoots, he scores! Took 28 seconds, a beautiful goal.
Wow, sniped.
And right now the clock is still running. There's something I want to mention. They stop it at 19:24. It should have stopped about 10 seconds earlier. The goal was scored by my count with 28 seconds into the period, but the Williams brothers connect again. They do put a couple more seconds on the clock. 19:29 remaining in the third period. It's a 3-3 game, and this is going to be a fun ending because there's at least one more goal as Salomon covers that one up. But Drexel came out firing. A beautiful play there from Matt Williams to Ryan Williams. The second goal was Ryan Williams to Matt Williams, and this time it's the other way around.
Salomon looked a little deep in his crease, and it beat him over the blocker side shoulder.
So here's now Devlin pushing the puck ahead. Quigley's giving chase. Quigley picks up the puck.
Well, now you've got one period. This is it. This is the game here. You got 19 minutes. You got essentially a 0-0 game. You're not down, you're not out yet.
And here's Drexel understanding that they smell blood. Shot on goal! That one just squeaks through. And Scott Salomon, who allowed 2 goals through 2 periods, allows 2 goals in 65 seconds. And that goal was scored by Vincent Ferraro, his 4th of the season. And it's Drexel's first lead since they were up 1-0.
Well, that's not what the doctor ordered, but Scott's going to want that one back for sure.
And you just can't write this script right now. Owls dominate pretty much 35 of the first 40 minutes, and the puck's going to be dropped, I believe, at center ice once again. Owls dominate 35 of the first 40 minutes. At the end of those 40 minutes, they were up 1 goal. Takes just a little over a minute for Drexel to counter back with 2 of their own. And they lead it 4-3 right now, and here they are still pouncing. As here's Hart gaining the line, works it back to Carroll. Here's Carroll at the left faceoff dot, shoots one high. It was a seeing eye shot, 18:35 remaining. Salomon's head was on a swivel there. Here's Swartz skating ahead, negating the icing. Swartz gets checked hard. And now Drexel once again can't get out of their own end. So Swartz wanted to tee one up. It hits a couple bodies out in front. Here's Drexel leading a charge. Hagan runs into Carroll.
Yeah, I don't like that, taking the shot from the point like that. You need puck possession.
And they try and stuff it in past Salomon, and the whistle was blown incredibly fast.
Well, I believe the net is off. That's what the referee saw, and Drexel's going to be unhappy about that.
And they have every right to be unhappy, as it came just the slightest bit off. So Drexel still leads it 4-3.
But before that, as I was saying, taking the shot from the point with someone in front of you and you're down a goal now, you need puck possession, get it deep, work the puck, work hard for it.
18:03 remaining, Owls down 1. And Drexel is just dominating play, just like they did in the first couple minutes of the first period. They're starting the third period the same way. Close in shot, and then they run over Salomon, but he covers that one up. 17:48 remaining in the third period. And I think Hanrahan's now going to the penalty box for some extracurriculars after the play. Well, right now, only a Drexel player is going to the penalty box. I saw a signal for Hanrahan, but I guess I was terribly wrong as the Owls are going back to the power play.
All right.
It's been a little bit of a confusing one. That's Tyler Shagan. And the Owls have one power play goal in this game. Could have sworn I saw the referee look right at Patrick Hanrahan. And I thought maybe it was some lip service, but instead it's going to be Shagan, I believe, for goalie interference. A little bit of a late call. Owls to the man advantage. They do win the draw. Puck comes back out into neutral ice where Hanrahan has to recoil in his own end. 17:38 remaining in the final period of regulation. Here's Hanrahan with the puck, trying to use his strength as he's being held up right now. Puck skies down to Lombardi's skates where he's able to keep it in. And then he reverses it back to McKenny. Quite a nifty move by Lombardi. He's been impressive today. Looking backdoor there for McKenny. So Hanrahan has the puck now at neutral ice as it came out. McKenny works it now to Lombardi. Lombardi to McKenny behind the net. 70 seconds remaining to the man advantage. Dunbach loses possession of that one. It's now Pero with the puck. McKenny tries to free it. He's able to. So Justin McKenny back to Lombardi. Hanrahan straight away at the point. Here is Lombardi. Back to Hanrahan. Hanrahan to Lombardi. Lombardi shot, rebound out in front, and McKenny scores! Justin McKenny ties it up, his second of the game, and it's a 4-4 game.
Big. Another power play goal. That one they had to work hard for. McKenny with a 2-goal night.
And Justin McKenny, just out in front, continues to bat away at the puck. And that's why it's so important to not allow rebounds in this league, really at a lot of levels. You even see it at the professional levels. So another power play goal, and it's a 4-4 game. 16:38 remaining in the third period, all knotted up at 4. And just when Drexel looked like they were going to run away with this one potentially, Temple's able to tie it up as this one goes the length of the ice for icing. Shots even at 28 apiece, score even 4 apiece.
Once again, we've got a game again here.
Puck comes out in front to Matt Williams. And a big poke check there out in front. Otherwise, Matt Williams would have had another slam dunk. Rodriguez can't put that one home as he tried to one-time it past Salomon, who's had a shaky start to this third period after a good first 40 minutes of play. Save there by Salomon. He needed that one. And once again, loose. And a quick whistle. Drexel has every right to be a little upset right now. A lot of quick whistles going the Owls' way.
And that's because of all the chippiness that's been going on. Refs are trying to avoid any more altercations in front of the net.
So 16-10 remaining in the third period. Puck rims around to the near board side. Van Allen can't touch up with that one.
No ice.
But he does negate it by just skating it out. Williams stays on Van Allen hard. As they announce that Jason Lombardi has an assist as he took the shot that McKenney scored on Van Allen. Works it on over to Swartz. Swartz gains the blue paint, waits for Van Allen to gain the line. Van Allen just sweeping it out in front. 15:36 remaining in the third period. Drexel is able to gain the blue paint as it's now Christopher Rodriguez dumping it back for Ryan Williams, who tied this game up at 3. Saved there by Salomon. Big carom out in front as Van Allen leading a 2-on-1 charge. Swartz calling for it. Swartz gets the shot off. Saved there by Gravenstein as Swartz couldn't get all of that one. 15:15 remaining in the third period. As now the top line coming out for Temple. Powell, Nacero, and McKenney comes back to the point. Civitella's shot once again doesn't get through. He has struggled with that. He does get a lot of shots toward the net, but doesn't get them on net, as it typically hits a couple players out in front. As Powell gets upended here, but gets back involved in the play. McKenney has 2 goals. You know he's in search of that hat trick. And imagine if he gets that next goal, as that puck knuckleballed its way towards Salomon.
Was not sure where that one was going as it whizzed by him.
And this one is now paddled away by Salomon. Owl struggling to get it out of the zone.
Blocker save.
I do believe you're right. I do think that Salomon did get a piece of that one. And Nacero just keeps on working it hard out of the zone. And here's Nacero staying with it. He gets upended. And here are the Owls with another prime power play opportunity. And you know what? Dan Nacero really does the little things. But am I confused once again? Is it going to be McKenney to the box? I'll admit, Aaron, seldom am I wrong. And I know that's very pretentious of me. But I could not be more surprised as Patrick Hanrahan is speaking with the referee right now.
I'm just as shocked as you are. I was calling for the high stick or a hook or something in there. But
so it's McKenney to the box.
I'd love to hear the call.
Didn't the Owls have possession of the puck, though? Isn't that when Nacero got hit? So wouldn't they have blown it dead previously, and then didn't Drexel touch up with it to have the whistle blown?
That's what I thought.
I am perplexed, I will be honest, and my apologies for getting that call wrong. But Justin McKenney to the box, so it's now Drexel to the power play.
Holding? Is that what he said?
I'll admit I couldn't quite hear it. It was a little muffled.
Hey.
But my goodness, nonetheless, Drexel to the power play. I was just about to commend, prior to the penalty being called against Temple, as this one goes the length of the ice, that Dan Nacero does the little things, just kept his legs churning, and I thought he drew another penalty. But the Owls can't complain. They have had their opportunities. A couple quick whistles in their defensive zone have gone their way. And now this is Drexel's chance to pounce, but here's Nacero trying to stick lift on Quigley, as he just keeps the Dragons hemmed into their zone for an extra couple seconds. As Hanrahan and Ryan Williams meet, they're 2 of their better players in this game, but Hanrahan skies this one out. 13:30 remaining in the third period.
Keep doing that. Don't allow Drexel to get in and set up. Make it as difficult as possible.
1:08 remaining to the man advantage as McKenney's sitting for what we believe is holding. Dragons work it back to the point. Here's Quigley. The right-handed shooting defenseman walks the line, swaps places with Matt Williams. Quigley, the assistant captain, works on over to Matt Williams along the half boards. Yes. Hanrahan gets his body out in front of that one, making sure there's no centering attempt or cross-ice feed. Straight away is Quigley. Good stick in the lane by Devlin. He's a good penalty killer. Remember, against Robert Morris, he had a short-handed goal to put the Owls up 2-1 just 2 weekends ago. Comes out in front to Ryan Williams, shoots it. Saved there by Salomon. There's a rebound, comes back to the point where Quigley is. Here's Rodrigue, now it's worked along the goal line, back to Matt Williams. Matt Williams shoots, hits Hanrahan. He's laboring a bit. Salomon caught way out of position, takes a funny bounce as they work behind the goal line, and Lombardi clears it as that will do it for the man advantage as there's 3 seconds remaining. But Powell chasing in after it, and Drexel's forced to just cover it up. 12:20 remaining in the third period, and this has been a fun one at Class of 1923 Arena in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. We're back to even strength here as Drexel struggled to get it out of their end. They finally are able to. And now here's an on-man break. They scored! Just like that, right after the power play. It's Drexel converting, and it's Maxwell Stetson getting his 4th goal of the season.
Left them all alone in front of the net, and not much you can do if you're Scott Salmon. I know he's upset. He doesn't think he's had that great of a game, I'm sure, but
it has to be a little tough. You allow 2 goals through 40 minutes. Not even 8 minutes into this period, he's allowed 3 goals, and that's just statistically he's allowed 3 goals. He's not really responsible for all 3 of those.
True.
But now it's on the Temple offense to get it back. And I think I might have jinxed this one. I mentioned at the end of the second period it was a low-scoring affair as it was 3-2. We're not even halfway through this period. It's now 5-4 in favor of Drexel. As here's Ryan Dumbach, the defenseman, stepping in offensively. Wants to get the shot off, takes a big hit. But then that puck hits the protective awning behind Gravenstein. 11:42 remaining in the third period.
well, we've seen him come back tonight already, so, there's still 11 plus left on the clock, still plenty of time. It's only a 1-goal game, and the goals have been coming on both sides, so this one's not over yet.
As the Owls are making some last-second changes, and they're going to throw Hanrahan off, and he's going to have to be replaced by Civitella. So the defensive unit is Civitella and Dumbach. They want to get Hanrahan and Lombardi out there. Just took a couple extra seconds. And keep in mind, we're used to calling home games. The Owls get first change, not last change, now that they're the road team. So they have to make it even quicker than before. As finally they make the change as the defensemen come out, it's now Hanrahan is out there. Dumbach is still out there as well. He's looking toward the bench. He's not going to go off for a line change just yet. And now he's going to go off, being replaced by Jason Lombardi as it's worked into the Drexel end. 11:10 remaining in the third period as it's worked along the nearboard side, where Stetson tried to corral that one. Ricochets into the Drexel end. We've reached 9 minutes into this final frame. As Hanrahan trips over his own 2 feet. And then Drexel is offside. Hanrahan saves the day. But no, it's the trailing referee is going to say Hanrahan trips him up. And I think Hanrahan's argument is there's a referee on top of the play who doesn't call it. But then Patrick Hanrahan is not going to be pleased because he's going to sit for 2. He did trip up the Drexel player, and you know what? It was a smart penalty to take because it could have been a 2-on-0 break. And we're seeing Patrick Hanrahan in a different penalty box than normal. So now he's going to go into the Temple penalty box and not the Drexel penalty box. 10:54 remaining in this third period.
All right, need a big kill here.
And the Owls have been pretty good on the penalty kill in this game, as it's now going to be a hand pass, I believe. So it's going to be dropped at center ice. We haven't seen this many calls on a regular basis. So a hand pass brings it all the way into Drexel's end. That's effectively a clear for the Temple Owls. Just 5 ticks come off the clock. Devlin wins the draw cleanly. Here's Dumbach. Dumbach to Civitella. Civitella's shot doesn't get on net. So Price just wants to eat up more clock. He's going to hug that puck along the boards. And even if it kills 4 seconds, it kills some time. As here's Drexel with the puck. Shot on, saved there by Salomon. He's looking a little shaky in this period, as I think he's lost a little bit of confidence he had from the first 40 minutes, as Dumbach is being hacked and whacked. It doesn't affect him. Oh, he goes forehand there. What a pretty play by Ryan Dumbach. Imagine if he finished that short-handed break.
He just walked right in.
And he then is smartly getting back defensively. So Ryan Dumbach with a very good shift here for the Temple Owls. It's worked back to the point. Here's Pero, the captain. Shot doesn't get through as it hits hard. A blatant slash to Joey Powell, and Joey Powell hits Hart. If anything, Hart should have gone off for a dive there, but no call either way. 45 seconds remaining to the Drexel power play. Here's Matt Williams. Doesn't get his pocket picked. Somehow keeps possession of that puck. Hagen loses it as McKenney was checking him hard. And now McKenney's going to sky one out. A good defensive play. He has 2 goals. And look at that. The coaching staff trusts him on the penalty kill as well. Justin McKenney has had a whale of a game for the Temple Owls.
Playing like a man on a mission tonight. And hey, if he's got the hot hands, throw him out there as much as possible.
And here's Ryan Williams working it back to the point where Matt Williams fakes the shot. Quigley can't get the shot through as it wasn't put in his basket. And now here's Joey Powell sprung on a breakaway. We are back to even strength. Joey Powell shoots, he scores! Joey Powell knocks it up at 5 apiece. With 8:50 to go, the seesaw game continues.
Used the boards, puck came out, gave him a breakaway opportunity, he skates in, and he beats the Drexel goaltender, ties this one up, and like we continue to say, this game's not over yet, and it's been a good one. It's been a good game.
It's been exciting. I don't think either goalie really appreciates this third period.
Oh no, they're going to hate this the most. But
so between the two teams, there were 5 total goals scored through the first 40 minutes, as it was a 3-2 game. Now it's a 5-5 game, so 5 goals have been scored. We're not even 12 minutes into this third period, as both teams have left the defense out of this third period thus far, as we have a 5-5 game. Puck goes into the Temple penalty box. 8:26 remaining in the third period. And just when you think that next goal is going to be the most important one, there's a follow-up goal that is even more important than the previous one, of course. Owls win the draw. Hanrahan wants to get it out into neutral ice. He does just that. Malinese chasing in after it, and he skates in hard enough so he negates the icing. We've seen that 3 or 4 times where the Owls just keep their legs churning and negate an icing. Kumpf has it, protects the puck, looks out to Swartz, who really gets tackled out in the slot. No call. Hanrahan going for a deflection. Oh, he scores! Oh my goodness! Hanrahan found Kumpf out in front, and the Owls are on top 6-5. They diagrammed that one perfectly. Hanrahan waited, and he just found Kumpf's behind, and the Owls are on top 6-5.
What a crazy game this has been. Goalie's going to be real pissed about that one, but there's nothing he can do. Deflection, and you know what? There was the no call. There should have been an interference call. Roman was screaming for it. And you know what? I'm sure he's very happy that the ref let that one go. Even one of the assistant coaches gave a little point to the referee and saying, all right, fine, good no call. We'll take the goal.
I feel like I actually say this every game too, Aaron, but we've now called a fair amount of games as we're getting to the end of the season, and each game just gets more and more exciting as the Owls now lead at 6-5. Have to give all the props in the world to Patrick Hanrahan. He'll tell you that's how he drew it up.
Of course. It's exactly how he saw it in his mind, I'm sure.
So the Owls just moments ago down 5-4, now up 6-5 with 7:41 remaining. Salomon covers up that puck. What a period. You can't write this script. As the Owls are back up by 1. The last time they were up by 1, they were up 3-2 at the end of 2 periods. So it's been quite some time. And now Drexel was offside. And the head coach of Drexel, Kyle Zoldi, has given the linesman a piece of his mind. And he's pretty cool, calm, and collected. I've seen him coach a fair amount of Drexel games. One of the better coaches in this league, keeps his composure, understands the magnitude of every game, just didn't appreciate that call, so he wanted to make sure the linesman heard him. It's been a frustrating period for his team as McKinney finishes off his check. But Drexel still has some fight in them. This game certainly is not done. As the puck comes back out into neutral ice, they have to touch up are the Dragons. So it's worked on over to Nacero. Nacero has the puck, is able to gain the center line. Now the blue line, untouched, gets the shot off. It's a high-rising shot, hits the end boards. McKinney, who has 2 goals in this game, works it back to Fuchs. And now it's a 2-on-1 break the other way. As shot on, saved there by Salomon. And then there's a big check afterwards. Seemed a little unnecessary. Don't know if it'll result in any loss of manpower. 6:50 remaining. But once again, Dylan Hart has a chance to tie up this game. And Salomon makes the save.
That'll make Salomon feel a lot better about this period. That's a big save.
And after the early period jitters, he's really come back strong, made a couple big, important saves. And the Owls are up by 1. And slowly but surely, the clock will become an enemy for whoever the trailing team is. I don't even want to say Drexel, because who knows, in 2 minutes, the Owls may be down a goal. As Drexel takes a hard shot on, saved there by Salomon. 6:45 remaining in this electrifying third period. Litastansky trips up over his own 2 feet, then is able to maintain his balance, but loses possession of the puck. As now Kumpf picks it up, tosses it on net. Gravenstein is able to glove that one down, then freezes the puck. 6:27 remaining in the third period. And right now the Owls are being outshot 37-33, but the most important part is they're up 6-5. It's been a pretty even game throughout on both ends. Just right now, Drexel has been credited with 4 more shots on net. As now here's Kumpf trying to spring ahead Van Allen, wasn't able to, so that ill-advised pass allows Drexel to come back in, and look at that, it's Ryan Williams. I said the ill-advised pass would come back to haunt them, and it did. A 6-6 game, and it just seems fitting. This one's destined for overtime. Who knows, it might be 8-8 at the end of regulation, but right now it's 6-6 with 6:07 remaining.
Bad turnover left Solomon out of place, and there was a small window. I could see the hole that he gave up, and Drexel slots it home.
So that's now the 7th goal of this period between the two teams, after the two teams combined for only allowing 5 goals through 40 minutes.
And I think if you're either team right now, just put the puck on net. Both goalies are shaken up mentally. Just get shots on net.
So if you want to talk about a big goal, I think the next goal will be a pretty big goal, but who knows if that will even be the game winner, as Hanrahan brings it to the near board side where Price gives chase. And it's friendly fire there with the big check. Fortunate to see everyone get up on their own 2 feet. Offside once again are the Drexel Dragons. 5:30 remaining in the third period, and the Owls smartly are going to go to that top line because they want to get some momentum back, at least have an offensive zone draw by the time their shift is done.
I was going to say, a little surprised we haven't had a timeout from either team yet with the amount of goals being given up, but I guess they're just going to let them run and gun.
So 5:17 remaining. Puck is thrown in behind the Owls' cage. It's Carroll working it on over to Hart. Hart gets hemmed in by Dumbach, and now the puck comes free. Shot saved there by Salomon. There's a rebound, 5:03 remaining. Perro can't keep the puck in, and this one might go the length of the ice, and it sure does. Nacero's not pleased with that call, but 4:58 remaining in the third period. Puck comes all the way back into Temple's end. face-off win here by Drexel. They're looking for the backdoor pass. They almost converted. They throw it the length of the ice, and it just misses the goal mouth. That's about as close as it gets. So another icing, and that's back-to-back icings for this top line. You did mention just a few moments ago, a little surprising to see neither coach has exercised their timeouts yet. Shot on, save there by and Drexel puts it home. They now lead 7-6. I didn't quite catch the number who scored there, but Drexel on top 7-6 with 4:45 remaining. Leading the line in the handshakes is number 5, being Vincent Ferraro.
Beautiful
That's his
backhand.
second of the game.
Backhand top shelf. The only way he was going to score that. Solomon's just got to keep his head up for another 4.5. And they gotta dig him out of the hole.
So you might see a couple defensemen pinching as right now an overzealous Hannerhan is in the offensive end. He works it back to Kumpf. Kumpf can't get it back to Hannerhan, who slashes the Drexel defender. Now here's Lombardi tossing it on ahead.
Good. Dump and chase. Go get the puck. Work for it.
Here's Van Allen. And it's worked on over where Drexel now can emerge. They have a 4-on-2 break if they move fast. But it's broken up there. And now Hannerhan, who buys a call, he fell down very easily. And I'll admit, I know Patrick Hannerhan well. He does not fall down that easily. But the Owls are going to the man advantage with 4:01 remaining.
That's a vet move, man. Take the penalties, especially the way they've been playing on the power play. He knew, and a good timeout, tempo, smart. Work, draw something up right here.
Now, I do not think by any means that Coach Roman Bassetti, the head coach of the Temple Owls, will pull his netminder with 4:01 remaining. They also have a power play.
No need.
So I do not expect him to, right now, send Salomon to the bench. But I do think there's a conversation saying, here's what we're going to do on the power play. We're going to diagram everything we can. If we do not score, here's the next circumstances. There's 4:01 remaining now. Just for easy math's sake, we'll say there's 2 minutes remaining at the end of that power play if you do not score, if the duration of the power play is played. And then you start to talk a little strategy. Hey, this is what we need to do. We need to get pucks deep. As right now Drexel's on top 7-6. And right after Ferraro puts Drexel on top 7-6 and had an incredibly emphatic celebration as he was jumping up and down in the air, he now takes the penalty against Hannerhan, who once again bought the call. But we'll see what this timeout does for the Owls. It does definitely allow them to keep some of their top units out there, as it'll be Powell, Dumbach, McKenney as the forwards, and then as the defensemen, Hannerhan and Lombardi, as the Owls win this draw. We've reached just under 4 minutes remaining in regulation. Lombardi back to Hannerhan. Hannerhan straight away gives on over Lombardi. Lombardi hard pass to Dumbach. Took an extra second to control it. Works it on over to Hannerhan. Hannerhan wanted to open up a lane.
Good movement so
Hannerhan
far.
to Lombardi. Lombardi's shot takes a weird hop off the boards, and then Hannerhan keeps it in. But Matt Williams goes the length of the ice with that clearing attempt, eating up more clock. So Salomon reverses it around, and I think the first one touching up are the Drexel Dragons. So they ate up a couple more seconds there. 1:15 remaining to the man advantage for Temple. Lombardi to Dumbach. Dumbach couldn't find that one tape as it did hit his skates. Now it's worked back to Powell.
Bad clear.
Now Lombardi's shot, looking for the deflection by McKenney, who, if he got a piece of that one and then it was redirected home, would have had a hat trick. Hannerhan takes care of his man, and there's still a little bit of pushing and shoving afterwards. Hannerhan once again playing on the edge. Could have been called there for interference, as it's now Lombardi with the puck. 2:45 remaining. He was past that red line. And now covering up, playing it conservatively, are the Drexel Dragons. 40 seconds remaining to the power play.
The Owls don't look like they're playing with any kind of confidence here in the last 2.5 minutes. Even with the man advantage, they're trying to be too nitpicky with their passes and You know, they know they're running out of time. They know they need to find the goal, but it can't be too perfect. Just, you know, let it flow, let it come out. And
Powell with another offensive zone draw win. Big pad save there by Gravenstein, and then they're able to toss it the length of the ice. Hannerhan skating in after it. He's a little tired, but he is able to make sure that the Owls keep possession of this puck. Flying through the zone is Dumbach. Dumbach dances around quickly, looking for Powell out in front. Powell almost redirected that one home. Now here's Hannerhan at the point. 10 seconds remaining to the man advantage. Lombardi shot, high rising shot.
gotta keep it down.
And now Hannerhan keeps the end, but that should do it for the man advantage. It does. We're back to even strength.
Now we watch.
That's a big clearing attempt, and Lombardi has to skate as hard as he can as he takes a couple whacks afterwards. A minute 50 remaining in regulation. It's a one-goal game.
Now.
We're keeping an eye on Scott Salomon, who's inching his way out. Lombardi working his way around. I think Quigley interfered with him. No call. Coach Rowan Vassetti not pleased.
Stay with the puck. Loose puck.
So Salomon's still not out of his crease just yet. Here's McKenny. McKenny teeing one up. It goes high into the air. 90 seconds remaining. I see Rowan Vassetti
Now
is calling for his guy. Oh! Jason Lombardi with a minute 23 remaining, and it's a 7-7 game.
Oh my God!
Salomon didn't even need to come out of his net. He started skating, and just he did. Lombardi backhands one home. It's a 7-7 game.
I don't believe what we're watching. This is insane. You may get your OT wish.
As right now the referee is telling Hannerhan to go to the bench. I think they wanted a clear, so they want to make sure Devlin wins this draw. He's not able to, so that the Owls can't change up their defensive D pair. And who knows if this will come back to haunt the Owls, as it's now picked up by Rodrigue. A minute 8 remaining in the period. Drexel has it deep in the Owls' end. The Owls haven't been able to change up their defensive pairing like they wanted to start off this shift. As Price skates hard, takes care of his man. Matt Williams loses the puck. Here's Devlin with a weak clearing attempt out in the slot. It hits heavy metal. The theatrics are here. Shot saved there by Salomon. 45.6 seconds remaining in the third period. This one has all of the dramatics you can imagine. As I think it'll now be a timeout for the Drexel Dragons.
Smart call with a face-off in their offensive zone. Let's see if they can draw something up. They're not happy. They're not happy about this. I know the goalies definitely have to be frustrated.
There have been 9 goals scored in this period.
Yeah, that's a nightmare.
Between the two teams. It's been 5 for the Drexel Dragons, 4 for the Temple Owls. A back and forth game. Ample lead changes. I don't even know if I'm 100% certain the next goal wins it. I don't even know. With 45.6 seconds remaining, I can't confidently say the next goal is the game winner. So right now, Coach Kyle Zoldi is making sure that the Drexel Dragons win this draw and they set up what they need to set up. 45.6 seconds remaining.
I would imagine they're going to set something up, win the puck back, crash the net, and shots from the point. That would be my guess.
And again, now after that timeout, for as much as the Drexel Dragons are rested and they get their top line out, the Owls are going to get their top line out. Draw one here by the Dragons. They try and get a shot off. Ryan Williams
looking for that back
wanted
door.
To redirect it home. Now they're going to try and stuff it in. Matt Williams shoots, and how does he grab that out of mid-air? Scott Salomon.
Yeah, he's going to get a round of sticks for that one. That's a nice save, game saver right there. Especially after the period he's had, he's gonna feel good about that.
That one was destined to hit the back of the net. And then that one comes out in front, and then that one doesn't go home.
I was hoping that clock ends a little sooner. Got to play till it's over, though.
And here's Powell maybe trying one last rush for the Temple Owls as it does come out into neutral ice, but it's picked up here by the Dragons. Ryan Williams with the puck. Gives on over to Quigley. Quigley's shot misses the net, stays in playing field. Nacero chasing after it with 4 seconds remaining. It goes to the corners and comes back to Powell. Powell can't throw it on net, and I said it was destined for overtime, and it sure is. A 7-7 game at the end of regulation. 9 goals scored in that third period. And frankly, I'm glad this one will end in overtime. It was a hard-fought game. 60 minutes doesn't do this game justice. And at minimum, we will have a few more minutes. As I do believe the two teams will switch sides. Not that it impacts much because it won't be equivalent to the period of the long change that you see at most arenas. And once again, we appreciate you spending your Saturday night with us.
I'm going to give them a minute here before we get this underway.
So both teams should be rested.
How do they do this? Is this 5-on-5, 4-on-4?
If I recall correctly, it's 4-on-4.
All right, a lot of room.
5 minutes. And that was an Owl's strength in this game, was when they had some open space. They were moving the puck pretty quickly, but you saw at the end of that third period a lot of backdoor passes.
And honestly, I don't think either team wants to be here much longer, and with the way the goalies have been playing, I'd say this face-off may decide this game. You know, if you win the face-off, rush down, do what you got to do.
So it will be 4-on-4 as the 4-man unit for Temple, and both teams will not switch sides. It'll be equivalent to the first and third period. Hanrahan's a defenseman, Lombardi's a defenseman. That's as much as you could expect. Powell and Nacero.
I'm okay with that.
Not surprised in the slightest if we're going to be 100%
no, goalies will switch.
Okay, so they will switch sides. I thought I had that one right. I've read the rule book a time or two. So Hart and Powell to take the draws for their respective clubs in OT. Powell wins the draw. That was the first check for Aaron Sherman if the Owls want to win, but they turn it over in their own end until Lombardi just gets it out into neutral ice. They toss it back in to the Owls' end where Hanrahan is.
Turnover.
And now here's a 2, maybe even 3-on-1 break. Hart back to Quigley, who ends it. Takes 19 seconds. Quigley in overtime, and the Drexel Dragons win it 8-7. As they take the third and final game between these two City 6 foes. A deflating loss for the Temple Owls.
Solomon is going to be so unhappy when this game's over. But he had a rough game. Both goalies did. Both teams fought hard. This was an excellent game. Crazy game. One of the best I've seen from Temple.
And again, a 4-on-4 overtime just led to an odd man rush there. The Owls are trying to cherry pick just a bit.
Turnovers.
And then they turned it over in their own end. And it was John Quigley, the defenseman, who scored in overtime to give the Drexel Dragons the win in this back and forth contest as both teams are shaking hands, and we've seen also a lot of shaking of hands between two teams, but you can see a couple players taking a couple extra seconds talking to a couple players because, again, these are friends when they aren't playing each other. When they do play each other, not as friendly.
Well, on the positive side, it's not a long bus ride back to campus.
In fact, it's closer than normal. So these guys get to commute as long as they're going back to campus. Should be a little easier for most of the players. As Aaron Litastansky just, I think, checked the water cooler into...
maintenance not going to be happy about that.
They certainly aren't. And I see Coach Roman Bassetti having a couple extra words with the referee, throwing his arms up. He's not happy. And to be honest, his team had a couple calls go their way.
I think both sides, there were calls both sides that probably were questionable. But
well, once again, that is going to do it for our broadcast here from Class of 1923 Arena. The next time we see you, it will be senior night at Area Health Flyer Skate Zone. But that will do it for our broadcast. Thank you for tuning in, and we will catch you next week. Super Bowl Sunday, you will be spending it with us, Temple Owls and Penn State Berks.